came here without any expectations, just knowing that I needed to be here, and I am so grateful. And I'm also having this great sense that as we showed up authentically as who we are also creating positive ripples of change all around us. So I'm very grateful. And I do have a little question. If maybe you can help me understand a little bit more, how can we stay authentically open in our heart and at the same time maybe welcome boundaries?
That's a beautiful question. The answer depends upon the circumstance, obviously. Maybe not so obvious. That's where the integration and the connection of the field of the heart and the mind can be really useful, because when you are in the field of the heart, that supports your ability to choose with discernment. And discernment is a facet of boundaries. So it's really a factor of, I love me and this is not okay. So it varies on circumstances. What has been helpful for me is to have fluid boundaries. And what that means is they aren't predefined in advance in anticipation of a situation, because I don't know how that other person is going to show up or react or respond differently based on the boundaries I've determined in advance. Because if, like, you're expecting your mother to cry at Christmas, you might form a boundary that may be the rubber band that triggers the crying. And so moving in with, I'm going to go open, heart-centered, and I'm going to stay in my heart, and I'm going to notice when circumstances come up as placeholders that tend to take me out of my heart. When there's that tendency to move out of the heart, that can serve as a cue to bring in boundaries that are moving boundaries that enable you to comfortably be in your heart without leaving. So I know that's a very general answer to possibly a specific situation, but the best way I can answer it is that they move. And sometimes it is absolutely very appropriate to have a fixed boundary, but depending upon the pattern you're interacting with, because there are some patterns that will see a boundary and it will become determined to cross it. That becomes the mission of the pattern. And that's where having moving boundaries can be very, very useful, because then the pattern can't predict it. You want to have a certain amount of dynamic disequilibrium or flow even in the fixed container of boundaries, so that you aren't teaching the pattern to be smarter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the word fluid with it, because boundaries did feel very limiting for me, and it also reminds me of like a great analogy with kids. Like if you have like strict boundaries with kids, they're always going to like jump them, but when you have the fluidity, they don't know what to expect, so it changes the whole pattern.
Yeah, you want to be smarter than the pattern. Mm-hmm. It's not being smarter than a person, it's being smarter than the pattern, because the pattern will adapt. Like evolution will adapt to, it's an adaptive pattern. So what you want to do is be unpredictable, but solid in the fluidity of the field of the heart.